Are you working hard to keep yourself limited and playing small? Is that working for you? If not, would you like to be changing that now? What if the key to activating your wealth was in the willingness to embody the abundance of possibilities you are? Would you choose it? Join in the conversation now on Living Well with your host, Keisha Clark, and receive tools and facilitation to clear the points of view that keep you stuck in limitation, to begin choosing your abundance and living well right now.
Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hello, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Living Well on A2Zen.fm. I am your host, Keisha Clark, and for the next hour or so, if you would so indulge me or yourself, I will be your Living Well empowerment agent. And today is going just a little interestingly. We have a guest scheduled to come on, and she's across the globe, quite literally. I'm in the States, and she's in Venice. So we're just wondering what technological magic can be worked here for her to get into the line and to the chat room. And in case you're wondering, we are pre-recording. This is a show that will be posted for Friday, March the 20th, and today is actually March 19th. And of course, all time is now, so joining us whenever you can is greatly appreciated. And how does it get even better? And what is asking to change in your life and in our lives today, in this moment, no matter what day it is, no matter where you are? And our topic today is the witching hour. Are you ready to come out of hiding? And this is a very interesting topic. Came up in a really fascinating way. And so, are you a witch or a wizard or something else in hiding? These words have often been used as labels to keep some rather unkind points of view in place for much of our collective story. And what do those words even mean, really? No label or point of view can truly stick you unless you are willing to buy it. And so if you were acknowledging all of you and who you truly are and all that you truly are and are capable of, instead of trying to hide you, what would that create in your life and in the world? And everywhere you are hiding you from you, would you be willing to change that now? Wow. What can we create from here? So, given that this show is going differently than what we planned, this is a beautiful example of how life brings you things and things get created in ways that you could not have imagined they'd be showing up, and so much different than what you might have thought of them showing up as. So my show, Living Well, and I have conversation pretty freely throughout pretty much every day. And when this topic showed itself or revealed itself kind of into my universe, I have to admit there was a little bit of a hesitation, like, oh, that's a pretty serious word. And I'm aware that for centuries we have heard this word in a pretty negative light. And part of what I was looking forward to, and I am still looking forward to, however it's going to show up, some of you might, if you've listened to Heather Nichols' show, Creating Beyond Reality. And I'm getting a message. Okay. It looks like Julia is trying to get on. So we're what energy, space, and consciousness can we all be to clear these lines with total ease and magic for Julia to be talking to us? Yay! She's working on it. All right. Okay. We'll send her a little message back, and there we go. So, where was I? We'll keep giving you some information on the topic coming to me, and the awareness. My awareness was, and I think probably many of you have this awareness, is for centuries the word witch or wizard has got pretty bad rap, and it's come to be identified as many things that it actually might not really be. So I wonder what we can begin to change or completely change today around the perceptions, the applications, the identifications that may not actually be the true energy of what is possible with these words, with these energies. And so everywhere that you might be buying into a label, regardless of what that label is, I'm wondering if today you'd be willing to step out of that and step out of your point of view that even might apply to you. What really else could you be choosing and expressing if you weren't buying into anyone else's point of view? And it was very interesting too. Earlier this week, I posted. I'm playing with posting things on Facebook with some images and graphics. I haven't been doing that, and I'm just playing with new things, new energies, new creations. And I posted one. It was a fairly simple background. I had so much fun creating it, though. I'm loving this. And the questions were: have you created yourself as the validation of everyone else's beliefs? And the next section, the next question is to get how powerful you truly are. And the next question is, what if you created you as you today? And what I didn't get at the point in time that I was playing with these questions, I did not quite get in that moment the tie-in, the connection to the energy of part of what this show was asking to be. And it dawned on me a little bit later. Do you get how powerful you truly are? And I look at the energy of how we have created the definition of witch and wizard throughout our story. And I get this energy of how much we have created ourselves to fit what other people desire or require or put a demand on us that they want to see. And let me give a message here. And I've got another message from Julia. Oh, dear. Okay, I'm going to let Carol, I'm just going to say this out loud. Julia keeps getting a message that says it's an invalid number. So will you post the numbers on the chat room board for me? And I will copy that over to Julia. Oh, here we go. I got it, actually. You're witnessing live time, folks. This is how we play in virtual reality. Okay, I've just sent that to Julia. She's making her best efforts. Woohoo! All right. So one of the things that I'm fascinated by is when I began to get how much it takes to create ourselves to fit other people's points of view. So think about that for just a second, or just tap into your awareness of that. It doesn't really require thinking. Tap into your awareness of how much brilliance and capacity does it take to create yourself to be fitting the points of view of anyone else. Do you really get what that takes? Do you really get how powerful you are? Yeah. And everywhere you have been not acknowledging that, would you be willing to acknowledge that now? Would you be willing to play with that? Would you be willing to ask a question like, what's right about me I'm not getting? Yeah. And would you be willing to receive the information? And what else possible if we tapped into the capacities to create even greater than we have ever let us imagine? So I am getting some more messages. I'm wondering if we can maybe take a station break, and let's see if we can get Julia on the line What will it take to create this with ease and magic? Total ease and magic. You are listening to Living Well on A to Zen.fm, and we will be back in just a few minutes. Thank you, folks.
Have you begun to ask yourself what you truly desire to create in your life? What if you being willing to embody abundant living was the key to your wealth and to creating greater in your life? And what if that could also be the invitation for more people to be willing to embody abundant living? Would that be a contribution to you and your body, and to other people and their bodies? And might that also create more in the future? Join Keisha Clark, Empowerment Agent and the host of Living Well radio show, to discover, uncover, and crack open the wealth of possibilities you are every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, and 8 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bar session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
How much of your life are you truly living? Are you creating your life in celebration of your strengths and capabilities? What would your life be like if you were choosing the abundance of possibilities of you now? Connect with Keisha Clark, your Living Well Empowerment Agent, now for a different perspective on creating the life you truly desire to be living. Call in with your questions. In the U.S., 815-880-8255. In Canada, at 613-800-8736. In the UK, at 033-0001-0625. By Skype at a2zen.fm or by emailing Keisha at livingwellnow@gmail.com. Now back to our show.
Yay! We have magic happening. We have
magic.
Julia Sotas. Woohoo! Hi, Julia.
Just a little late. Hi, Keisha. How are you?
I'm so fabulous, and late is just a relative term, isn't it, darling?
I'm glad that's your feeling towards it. I'm here with my friend and co-facilitator, Daria Hansen, and her 4-year-old daughter, and we got off of it's amazing here in Venice. The bus stops are like boats. So, like, the city bus is a boat.
Mm-hmm.
And so we get on the boat, and we go to our stop, and it took us 2 hours to what was a 15-minute walk. So,
oh my gosh.
Dorian's like, I know my body likes walking, but this is a bit much.
Wow. Well, thank you for doing a marathon and then jumping on a show with me.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about your title and talking about this.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I got to hear you on several calls, one with Nilofer on her Illusion to Illumination Summit, and then, of course, you did a show with another A to Zen host here just a little while back, Heather Nichols, and then I've also listened to several of your shows that you do. You did a show on magic with Glenise Hughes. For those of you who don't know, Julia has a fabulous library of her shows, her calls that she does. You do those weekly, correct, Julia?
Every Wednesday, yes, except for not this Wednesday because I was too busy perusing the streets of Venice. I'm going to put up a replay that I recorded last week. So, yeah, every Wednesday, though, at 2 Pacific. So
awesome. And they are, you have got some amazing folks with amazing conversations. So please check that out. Can tell folks your website, Julia.
Yes, absolutely. All of the recordings of the show are on juliasotas.com. So that's JuliaSotas.com. And then you click on the radio show link and it'll take you straight to SoundCloud.
Nice.
All my radio shows are on SoundCloud there. So yeah, it's fun. Fun hosting a radio show. You get to talk to interesting people for an hour once a week.
Isn't it grand? Yes.
Oh.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Before you got on, I was actually sharing about the topic, today's topic. The show brought it to me, brought it into my awareness, and I was at first I was kind of like, whoa, I just could perceive the heaviness around, the witching hour and the whole witch and wizard and warlock thing, and how dare we be magic? I mean, come on, what are you talking? So part of I posted something this week on Facebook, and it was just I was having fun with putting up some images, some new graphics and things. And the questions were, have you created yourself as the validation of other people's beliefs? And the next question was, do you get how powerful you truly are? And the next question is, what if you created you as you today? And some of the folks heard this, of course, because I said it earlier, but part of the energy of that really struck me a little while after I posted it was how that ties into this topic of how much we create ourselves as something different than what we really truly be to fit in and to hide.
Yeah.
And so are we ready to come out of hiding today? Wow.
Yeah.
And part of what I enjoy, and go ahead.
I was just going to say, the topic of witches, I have been doing quite a few shows on witches, and I mean, my mom was a Reiki master growing up. I used to sit in front of the pendulum as a little girl and, try to move the pendulum with my eyes. And it's I grew up around witchcraft, and it's just who I be. Mm-hmm. And even still, to put it on Facebook, or to let people know that I'm doing a show on witchcraft, it's no, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want people to know that I'm a witch. What are my Christian friends going to think? Am I going to be outcasted? And it's but that's who I am. It's not, and that's what I would love to clear on the show today is the concept of what it is and all the past lives where it was the thing to do to keep this reality in place was to literally burn women alive because of it.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly where I was going to be asking us to go. Not the burning alive, but the to be. We've been there, we've done that. It didn't really work for me, so I'm much better to be on a radio show talking about the glory of witchcraft and witchery and all kinds of fun. And part of what I really enjoy with your interviews when I've heard you talk about this is you do have this level of ease and the space of playing with your capacities. And I have heard you talk about, you made facilitation really significant for a while, and then you kind of took a step back and started to ask different questions and really be present with what you brought to the table and what you bring to the table. And I'd kind of like to start there. If you don't mind. Was there something that was really a surprise to you in the process of your sort of coming out, or you're revealing yourself, or beginning to?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. Shannon O'Hara, Gary's daughter, who talks a lot about entities and witchcraft. She said on a call that I'm doing with her, she said, consciousness is not for the weak at heart.
I love when she says
and I would also say coming out is not for the weak at heart. And I said the two sort of go hand in hand. Yeah. And it's you have to really, really have that commitment to being who you are, because you will be judged and you will lose friends and you will lose people. Mm-hmm. And I see that for me, the willingness to lose people has been a huge, huge component of that. And I don't know. I mean, it's a daily process. It's ongoing. Today it was funny. I've been thinking so much about art and fashion lately, and I stopped. Came to Venice yesterday, and I went to the museums today, and I looked at the art and I just started weeping. I was just looking at the walls and weeping, and I think the people walking by me were like, boy, she's really moved by that art. And I was literally weeping, and I was just like, here's a part of me that I didn't acknowledge, that I've never acknowledged. Like, I'm actually an artist, and I'm like, I can't draw. Like, that was my point of view, was like, I can't draw. And I stopped all of this fashion design and like graphics, and I was thinking today, why don't I get glass, like windows? My mom is a costume designer and a wedding decorator, and so like we have studios, and like this is all like on a silver platter for me. And so I'm like, well, why don't we take glass and smash up the glass and turn it into different sculptures? And I was even thinking about how I'd prick myself with blood and there would be blood, and I'm like, this is amazing.
That's so yummy.
Yeah. And it was just like, so it's a daily process, and I think that a lot of, and I'm getting a little, it's on the topic, I'm getting away from witchcraft, but just
totally
as a
fine.
person, yeah, and it's coming out. It's like you have to come out to yourself too, and it's like, who am I? You know, we give the question in Access, who am I today, and what grand and glorious adventures will I have? And it's like who are you? Like, people have no idea who they are, and it's like asking that question, who am I? And for me, today I was like, oh my God, I'm an artist. Like, I can do all of this stuff. And it's also the same with witchcraft. Like, what I'm using this story to illustrate is that's how I was with witchcraft. It was like one day I was like, oh my God, I actually am a witch. I was telling some friends at lunch today, when I was 7 years old, I had my teacher started reading us Harry Potter. It was when the Harry Potter books came out. And I took my Harry Potter book, like I slept with it in bed. I would take it into the swimming pool. I dropped it in the swimming pool. It was like this gross mess, and then I would still sleep with it in bed. And like, it was like, because I was like, I'm not a fucking muggle. Like, I'm a witch. Like, this is my reality. So it's just like within this, like, for everyone out there, like, where are you? Where are you right now, and who are you that you have not even imagined?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so
beautiful.
Yeah.
That is so perfect, because my ending question with the show write-up is, everywhere you are hiding you from you, would you be willing to change that now? So
yeah. Can I fucking pause that for you?
Oh, please. Or you're not. Let's destroy and uncreate that.
Yeah. Right, Wrong did that, all 9 Pod Talk shorts, Boys and Beyond.
Yeah. Because no label or point of view can truly stick you unless you're willing to buy it. And how many ways are we willing to buy? Whether we're consciously willing or unconsciously being willing to buy someone else's point of view as real and true, and we try to overlay it on our life, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It does not. It creates a very awkward position. It's like a bunch of, whales trying to trot like horses. Like, think about that. When you're trying to buy a point of view that's not yours, I always think of like a flower trying to watch television, or like an animal trying to, like a sloth trying to use the telephone. Like, that's how awkward it is, what we're doing to ourselves.
Yes. And we would want to do that for what reason?
Exactly. It makes no sense.
Oh my gosh. And it's fun, because I also want to share too, this is part of the energy of this show, is for any of you who aren't aware of this, Julie and I have never really spent time in person together having conversation or dialogue about any of this. What I love is getting to play with the magic of who we be. We can tap into so many different energies, and when we start to ask questions like I did when this show presented the topic it wanted to be this week, I began to ask, well, okay, who do we want to play with? Do we want to play with somebody, and who do we want to be? And Julia's name came to mind, and or into my universe. Maybe is a better way to say that. And so you and I just reached out and contacted you. You were one of my friends and are one of my friends on Facebook, but that doesn't mean we've had coffee. And yet here we can be literally on 2 sides of the globe having this conversation, creating magic. And so thank you for playing with this energy with me and with the show and with all of the people and the beautiful beings who are contributing to this now and in the future. And how does it get even better than this when you're willing to play with what you can't define? And
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
go ahead.
girl. Go for it.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I was going to actually go off on another tangent about sprites and fairies and things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's so neat here in Venice because there's such I mean, it's like, I think that when everybody went over to the Americas, they forgot to bring all of the magic with them. They only brought some of it. It's like, I don't know about you. You can find magic in Walmart, but it's just like not the same. And I'm just loving Europe because the energy of the sprites and the fairies and the leprechauns and the gnomes, and they're just so present here. It's like the air is, it's like thicker and blurrier or something. Like, so let's do a clearing here. Do we do clearings on your show?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So what have you made so vital about destroying magic that keeps you acting like an asshole? That's what came to mind. I thought it was going to go somewhere really profound, but hey, it worked.
That reads.
So everything that is.
Would you?
Times it got sillier.
All of that. Yes, please.
Yes. Right, Rockin' that talk all night, short voice and beyond. It's just like ready to go, like say something Shakespeare, but
oh man, I love how stuff like that shows up. Too funny.
That is so
funny.
Oh man.
Well, and so
like that is funny.
I love that too. We're getting to have this show, not to make it significant, just really to tap into like the energies that are in play right now. You know, with this, we have our super moon, and we have a solar eclipse in a few hours, and then we have the equinox, and there is that the possibilities of change and creating greater seem to be just so ripe in the air. And I can only imagine being in Venice at this facilitators training that you're at for Access Consciousness. I mean, total magical, total amazing. And I'm loving hearing the stories of people creating magic to get there. There was a strike on one of the major airliners. So some people have had to kind of rewrite their trip. And I'm loving seeing all the different ways that that's getting created and recreated and outcreated. And part of what I'm getting excited about is, what if it is time to come out of hiding? What if the earth is inviting us and requesting us and wooing us to come out of the hiding of what isn't really who we truly be, and what does that empower us to create with the earth and with each other now? And so what is up for you? You're doing some amazing creation in your world and in your universe. And what have you been using? Are there some specific tools, or do you have kind of some go-tos that you enjoy with questions to keep you from buying into that ridiculousness that anyone else might be playing with that isn't you?
The asaholicism, asaholic.
And we're creating words today. I love it.
There's alcoholics out there, but the asaholics, I think, are worse.
Oh boy, we could write a whole blog on that.
Well, what really comes to mind is being willing to have everything change all the time. Because there was a place, there was a time when I really wasn't willing to quit things.
Mm.
And that is a place where I was really stopping my magic a lot. Because if something wasn't working, I wanted to maintain it. And things would get so heavy. And like, cause I mean, for me, like I was saying that I'm not an artist as of yet. That's not true. I am an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And my art isn't, like I do a lot of photography. My friend and I, build sets and take photographs and stuff like that. We have a lot of fun. So anyways, but when I'm trying to keep the same structures in place, it just destroys everything. But it's really humbling to like be able to quit things all the time, because you say you're doing something and you tell people about it, and then it's like, oh no, I quit that. I'm doing this now. And it's like this place where it's like, well, like what's wrong with you? Like, do you stick to anything? Like, you're just this flake. And it's a place where I've really had to shut up and not always say, oh, I'm doing this and I'm going here, or this is my plan for this, because a lot of time it doesn't work out. Like, something changes, or the energy gets heavy, or I do the same things, but it doesn't look the way that it would look to fit to other people, to like tell them stories. So you really, like for me, it's being willing to quit things and change all the time, and also not talking about things as much.
Oh, and that's a tricky one for a lot of us.
Yeah, it is. It really is, especially for I don't know. It's a girl thing. We talk and talk and talk. I've kind of got to the place now where I don't want to talk and talk and talk. Like, if I've done something, like people do things and then they talk about what they did, like they tell people, and I'm like, I'm so frustrated by that. I'm like, it's just so stupid. Like, I did it. Why am I going to talk about it? Like, I already did it. And people, my mom, she calls me and she wants to tell me this, and she wants to talk about this, and she wants to talk about this. And it's like, there's not even energy behind what she's saying. She's just talking because she needs to talk. It's like heroin. She just, it's like goes into her veins, and it's what she does. And I'm just like, there's nothing even here. Like you're just doing this as a way to avoid creating your magic in your life. So it's like honestly, one of the things that can, and it's different for everybody, but for me, it's to shut up and to actually keep things to myself and not keep secrets. It's not keeping secrets. It's just choosing not to blab about everything. And that for me was big, because I was a huge blabbermouth. I told everybody everything. I went everywhere. It was like blah 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 and blah blah blah. And when I started to be like, oh crap, like this isn't actually creating more. I'm just a gossip. That's when everything changed.
Wow. What a
fabulous. What have you made so vital about? Yeah, what have you made so vital about being a gossip that destroys your magic?
Wow.
And everything that is times a gazillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, please.
Right. Shorts, boys, and beyond. And that's not to say gossip is wrong or that I don't gossip. But when I gossip, like, I am in and I am gossiping about people. Like, we're going to have fun.
Well,
but
there's
kind of necessity of blabbing.
Yeah. And there is this sort of, I'm not sure what to call it. I love how you likened it to heroin, because there really is this energy I perceive when people kind of get on a roll, and it's like past a certain point, there is no point to it anymore. Like you're saying, it's just about sort of stoking the flame of that energy, and yet that energy is not generative. It's rather destructive, actually.
No.
Wow.
It is, actually. I have a story about this. So, recently, one of my friends and my sister just finished actually her first novel, or it's a self-help book, and she's only 20 years old. I'm very proud of her. Anyways, that's just a little plug. It'll be all over my Facebook page once it's published. Anyways, so you can find it. It's an amazing book. So, my one of my friends, my sister asked one of my friends to read the book, and my friend said, I don't have a lot of time, and I don't want to read the book. or I'm not mentioned in the acknowledgement, so why should I read the book? And I was kind of like, ugh, what a bitchy thing to say. And she's like, you and your sister are so demanding, and we are demanding. I'm a demanding person. I really am. That's true. So it wasn't like even mean, but it was just like she was frustrated with how demanding we are. Mm-hmm. So anyways, she is like, what do you say to your sister? And I said, I don't know, like, use what's light and heavy for you. And then I called my sister, and I was like, it's gossip time. We're going down with this one. So I was like, blah, 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 and how could she? Blah, 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 blah. And it was like a conscious choice to do that because I don't do that very often. Like, I usually keep my mouth shut about stuff like that because I know that it's not going to create more in the world. But this time I was just like, ugh, whatever. And I kind of made myself unconscious about what it would create, and I did it. And then, so then I was like, oh, done. Okay, good. Got out. And then my sister was like, well, what do I say? And then my friend called me, and I was like in the middle of this big mess. And if I would have just kept my mouth shut, none of it would have been created. And I was just like cleaning up this mess of frustration that really didn't need to be there at all.
Right.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, where in your life, are you creating unnecessary frustration based on over talking?
Mm-hmm.
So everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes, ma'am. Mm.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 Podpoc shorts, boy, man. So yeah, it's kind of like I was listening to a Deal and Deliver telecall that Gary recently did, and I asked him. Actually, I just put the SoundCloud clip up on my Facebook wall. It's excellent. I recommend everybody go listen to it. You did, hey? Yeah. It's a 6-minute clip, and it's brilliant. And he says to me, I said, so you can't do a deal and deliver if you have your back door open, if you're not fully committed to your life. And he said, no, you can't, because you can't escape your life and create your life at the same time. And I think, like, when you're gossiping or you're, bringing up these things and chatting, you're not actually being present, and you're trying to escape your life and what's going on in your life by talking about people or blaming people or just, rehashing what you already did rather than creating more stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's like, that's a kind of, for me, like a means of escaping your life. And we'll use your magic because we're talking about magic, and magic is who we be. So you're escaping your magic rather than creating it. It's like you can't run in 2 directions at the same time. Yes, we're infinite beings, but it's just not congruent. Some things just don't work, like a sloth talking on the telephone. It just doesn't work. And so if we're running in one direction, we can't be creating our life. So it's like these different things are all means of escaping.
I love that.
So definitely go to my Facebook page. It's the second one down. My name's Julia. Just for everybody out there, my name's Julia Sotas, Sotas, and go to my Facebook page. You can add me as a friend. I'll add you back, and just go down to the second thing on my Facebook page and listen to it. It's a really, really good clip.
It is amazing.
So, yeah. Oh wait, did you
posted it? I took a listen, and there were 2 quotes that I pulled them.
That I just said.
Because it jumped out at me, and I was like,
I didn't say that. Yeah, so, that's amazing. That's really that's magic, right?
Yeah, I'm like, woohoo. And what this is kind of tapping into for me is also like our magic. I've looked up the etymology of witch and wizard, and witch is from Old English Wicca, or we pronounce it Wicca, which is female magician or sorceress. And wizard, I think this is kind of interesting. The guys get this lovely other kind of also Middle English, has more to do with wisdom, which it says doing with philosopher or sage. But they both are tapping into that magic, or inclusive of that magic energy. And part of that is the ability to have the awareness of what the future is bringing, and not necessarily set it in stone. But I'm wondering if part of our resistance to our magic is really stepping into the potency of it. And I've heard Gary Douglas, and for anybody listening who doesn't know who Gary Douglas is, he is the founder of Access Consciousness, and Dr. Dane here and Gary Douglas are the co-creators of what is the ever-changing, ever-amazing unfolding of Access Consciousness. And they're also amazing beings and creators. And they're all over Facebook and YouTube and Google. But we'll give you some information near the end of the show too. But one of the things I've heard Gary say is potency is the awareness of what your choice creates. And
Yeah.
as you were talking, that started to kind of tap on my window, as it were. Is that part of the magic we be is that awareness of, oh, I can perceive where this could go, and we kind of, that gets twisted into, if I can perceive, then I have to commit to it being created that way, rather than staying in that playfulness of the magic. And have you had any of that, or what do you notice about when you work with people? Because I know you do facilitation, and what comes up for you in that particular aspect?
Well, there's a lot of things. I think that like the one big thing is really, because you said in there, not coming, like being willing to keep being in the playfulness of it, and like I said, it's not coming to a conclusion, or like always, like being willing to quit. And it's such a funny place, because it's a commitment. Like you have to commit to your magic, but the way that it shows up will be so different, and you might have to quit a lot of things. And it might be different for everybody. Maybe that people don't have, like, it's different. For me, it was like, I was, Miss Student Council president. I was, I'm in the choir, played piano for 13 years, played the guitar. And I did all these things, and it was like, never quit. And so for me, like the energy of being willing to quit something, just so flimsy and floozy and floppy. And how could I? Like, good people don't quit. And my mom is like, stick to your commitments. And so that's really like, when that gets drilled in you, it's really, really hard to quit.
Yeah.
So everything that is destroying and create it all.
Yeah. Please.
I'll just pot quick, right? Wrong, give that online pod talk shorts with me on. Yes.
Well, I was also like, so there's like a question of, so everywhere we're committing to, what is that? Like committing to the not magic, to the to being a muggle.
The escape hatch.
And the escaping our magic.
Yeah, to being a muggle.
Yeah. Wow. Could we destroy and create all that?
So what? Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pod talks with William. Yeah.
And it's like we kind of
true, though. Like.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, I don't know. I'm sure everybody's seen Harry Potter, or at least know what it is. It's about witches and wizards and witchcraft. And reading that book was like one of the only, like, it was such a light thing in my life. Like, it was like, yeah, absolutely. But we don't realize that, like, Harry Potter was a wizard, and he wanted to be a wizard. And it's like, he didn't try to make himself a muggle. He practiced his witchcraft. But we try to make ourselves muggles.
Yeah.
And it's just a really ugly thing. So everything that you've done to make yourself a muggle, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pod talk shorts with you. I'm actually kind of gonna, when I go home, I'm kind of excited to reread the first Harry Potter book and just look at what I was aware of when I was little, and like what J.K. Rowling's point of view about Harry Potter was, because that was like a really big thing for me, and it would be really neat to see kind of how that was all built.
Yeah.
It was just so light, like it just makes sense.
Totally. And how many of us...
It was so funny when I was go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm going on a long tangent. I'll remember this one. You go.
Well, I was just, for me, what was coming up is how many of us actually, it comes so naturally, and we discount what we are creating and what we have the capacity to be creating. And it doesn't always require, you know, a physical wand. It doesn't always require mugwort. It doesn't always require a crystal on a you know, on a gold chain. It's sometimes, what if it just requires our willingness to ask the question, and, as you say, be willing to allow it all to change all the time. Wow. And I'm just getting that at a whole different kind of
that's
wow.
You're like me on my radio show. I have somebody on and I just can't even, like, I'm like, huh? Like, I can't even ask questions because I'm like, this is so profound.
Totally.
Yeah.
And you were saying, I kind of cut you off. I'm sorry, dear.
No, I was gonna say a couple of things, but one of them was just like we can't see what we already are. So it's really hard. Like, we create more consciousness every day. Every choice that we make, we have more awareness. And we are magic, and we become more and more magic, but we can't see what we are. And I think that a really important thing to do is to, like, kind of make yourself see what you are. Keep a journal and write down things you're grateful for. I was watching, who do I like? It was the Oprah show, and she has those Super Soul Sundays. And one of the people speaking, his name is Sean Achor, or Achor, Sean Achor. And he is a happiness psychologist. And he came up with 5 concrete things that people can institute into their lives to be happier. And a lot of it was really light. Like, it actually, like, I got that it would create more happiness from, like, this reality point of view, maybe not like the bliss and ecstasy that Access Consciousness has brought me. But one of them was to start keeping track of what you're grateful for. And it starts to retrain you to look at the greatness in things rather than the negatives, because we are trained as people to look at the what we're not, what we don't have yet, what we haven't achieved, what we can't do. And it was cool the way that he explained it. Was like, if you actually start, and I would put a twist on what he said, because he said being grateful for things in your life. I ask people, I challenge them to go, what's it going to take to have gratitude for what you create? Not just like, I'm happy for my family, I'm grateful for the trees and the flowers and the television, but be grateful for the things that you have created. So, like, I created that art. Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that. And I created, my trip wherever, insert place you went. Wow, I'm so grateful for that. Like, I'm having lunch with this friend. I can't, like, wow, I created this, like, my creation. And then you start to not only become grateful for things, but you become grateful for you.
Bingo.
And that's the one person we don't want to be grateful for.
Big the
one
bingo.
Person we will abuse the most.
And so there's something coming up around camouflage. So it's like, so everywhere we have camouflaged ourselves from ourselves, and what is that? Denying? No, it's not. It's a different word. Everywhere we have desecrated. Wow, the gratitude we truly be.
Wow.
I have no idea where that's coming from, but thank you, everybody. Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that, please? Change the world.
Yes.
Wow. Right and wrong. Good and
wow.
bad. All 9 sorts, boys and beyonds. Oh my goodness. Wow.
I just looked up desecrated in the dictionary because I've never heard anybody say the word desecrate, and I was like, did she make that up, or is that a real thing? And it's a real thing. It's a great word. Hey, I mean, I made up assaholic, so I thought that you had, you the right to desecrate it. But it's a verb that says to desecrate is to treat a sacred place or thing with violent disrespect.
Oh my gosh, that brought chills to my whole body, Julia. Wow.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
You ever hit the nail on the head?
Let's
I'm going to read that again. To
Wow.
treat a sacred place or thing with violent disrespect.
Oh my gosh.
To violate is the second definition. Violate.
And everywhere
That's amazing. I'm going to start using that word.
We have desecrated the gratitude we truly be, will we destroy and uncreate it. Times a god freaking zillion, please.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Talking pot all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Get free, people. Wow. Yeah, let's just return all of those points of views to senders. Could we please come out of hiding? Wow. Yeah. And so we're coming down to the last few minutes, and I have so enjoyed you coming to play with our show, Julia. Thank you. And if you have some more amazing brilliance and wisdom you would like to bestow upon our listeners, please do so.
What can I bestow? Well, I mean, there is one thing that I always like to mention when I talk about witchcraft, is just like to clear all of the places where you were the people who were the ones burning the witches at the stake. That's the one that has the most charge, and I think that might apply to this group. So I'm just going to go into past lives. All the past lives where you were a man or a leader who was the one burning the witch at the stake, will you destroy and create and revoke, recant, rescind, reclaim, renounce, denounce everything you bought about that and decide?
Yes. Ugh.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys and beyond. Yeah, that's heavy.
Wow.
And for any of those of you out there who are having trouble with it, like, I would run that a lot.
And there's also, I get everywhere you've been, depending on the era, everywhere you've been a woman who played, who gave other women up and who gave other people up as witches and wizards and practitioners of black magic.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to destroy and create everything that created, and everywhere still holding yourself hostage to it? Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yes. Wow, good one.
Wrong, good, bad, pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. Oh my gosh, Julia. You're just so fun to play with. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What else can we create?
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to come on anytime. I mean, we could go forever.
Definitely. We could do like quarterly witch tune-ups.
That sounds great. I'm in.
Okay, cool. I love the creative process. So for everybody, still got some heaviness. For anybody listening now or in the future, please listen again or look for different resources or, record yourself asking yourself questions. And you can also go to some fabulous resources. I mentioned earlier Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here both have amazing videos on YouTube. And one thing that comes up asking to be talked about or at least shared is Dr. Dane here has a book, Being You, Changing the World. If you go to, I believe it's beingyoubook.com, you can look up Dane here and the link to his book will come up. But he has done some amazing book club hangouts. And I have a sense that may be a way for you to get some ease, creating some ease around the magic you truly be. And whatever you call it, whether you call it witch, wizard, warlock, magician, sorcerer, king, champion bowler, it doesn't matter. Just be more of the amazingness and incredibleness you truly be. And Julia, please continue to bring more of your beautiful witchery to the world. And what else can we create and change the way we be in the world and as the world? Thank you so much, Julia. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today.
You're very welcome.
And in the meantime, enjoy the witchery you be. Yay! Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening in today to Living Well with your host, Keisha Clark. You are invited to join us every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Mountain, and 8 a.m. Pacific on A2Zen.fm. In the meantime, what would it take for you to be choosing more of the abundant